Can we talk about the one victim or the victims that society is not talking about of Diddy? Let's talk about that, okay? Because look, we all care. Everybody's like doing all the, oh, we care, we're so sad, blah, blah, blah. But there's a particular victim that no one's talking about. Or very few. When I say very few, I mean like 0.001% of people are talking about. And for me, it's an actual representation of the state of the adult population. Adults don't care about, wait for it, the children. No one's talking about the children. We're talking about Diddy. We're talking about freak offs and this, that, and the other. Child trafficking. Does anybody care about the kids? Or are we just all gonna like lick our wounds and have all these coping mechanisms, whatever, as adults? Everybody's talking about, oh, who else was involved? Was it Beyonce? Was it so-and-so? Was it so-and-so? You know who's not? No one's talking about the children. The children are always forgotten. That's why I hate the adult population. Truly. Because you know why? It's not that like, it's not even to do with my life or whatever. It's to do with the fact that somebody has to care enough about the kids. Somebody has to care about the children. Like, no one cares about the children. No one's looking at the children and thinking, at these freak offs, and you know what the government and all these people have done well is they've made it seem like all this stuff is all about adults. At the freak offs, there was this celebrity, that celebrity, that celebrity. They don't talk about the fact that these adults are bringing children. They're not talking about the child trafficking. You guys are idiots. You guys are complete idiots. You're falling for the story. It's the narrative. This is what the devil does. This is what the devil did with Eve. Did the Lord really say? That's the devil. Did the Lord really say? The serpent. And I discovered yesterday, courtesy of a man of God who told me this, he was like telling me that the word the devil used, the word that God used for death was eternal death. And the word that the devil used was physical death, like death of your body. So the devil wasn't lying and saying you will not die if you eat from this tree because you will still live as a human. What he was saying is, but what he didn't say was, you will still die eternally. And that's his trick, you know. And I just think, like, from my perspective, I've lived through hell, you guys. My life has been hell up to this point. It's still hell. I don't feel grateful to be alive. That's the truth. I'll be real. I'll be so real. I'm not going to kill myself or anything, so don't worry about that. I hate being alive because this planet and like my understanding of how this society actually is, like the fact that it took people all these years to wake up to Diddy, I don't care now. Because how many victims, how many children, women, men had to be affected all these years for us to wake up 10, 15, 20 years later? It's stupid. It's stupid. It just goes to show how much we're not smart by ourselves. We're not. Including myself. The only reason I even know about this stuff in advance because in the last few years, like the last couple of years, I have anchored myself in the Lord. I've had to anchor myself in the Lord for a long time because he's the only person I've ever had. He's the only person I've ever trusted and he's the only person I've ever had. I don't have a support system. I don't have friends, family, whatever everybody else has, all these things. I don't have them. You know, because I've experienced where the jury of the sheeple gets swayed by somebody who's making up stories. And I'm just being truthful and honest and nobody believes me. And I mean, you know, fair enough. People want to assume the worst about me. I've realized that some people, like a lot of people, they just like to assume the worst about me. And it's okay. Honestly, it is. I've come to terms with it as an adult, and I can handle it as an adult. But you know what upsets me? The children, because they deserve better. They deserve so much better. They didn't ask to be here. Like. This is 2024. There's birth control. Listen, there's birth control for free. When I was 12, I remember, or 13, they were telling us about where you can go and get birth control for free. You don't have to get any kind of what do you call it? Permission from your parents. You can just go and buy birth control for yourself. I was put on birth control at the age of 16 purely because of my period pains, because they were so bad. They were like, we'll put you on birth control. It's free in this country. Even outside of this country. What is it to you to pay a bit of extra money to spare the entirety of a human life over having sex with somebody, I guess? And I say this as a woman who has had a miscarriage. So I felt the death of a human in my body, of a child, of a baby. In fact, that same baby I held in my hands. It's crazy, like, you know? So for me, watching this whole Diddy thing and seeing how, again, as a teacher, people are talking about the adults. Who cares about the adults? Who cares? Why do we care? Adults can defend themselves, make their own decisions. You know who can't? The children. That's why they're not being spoken about. And that just kills me, guys. It actually kills me to my core. And that's why I hate this planet. Because even now, in a situation like this, the whole entire world is talking about, oh, this happened to so-and-so. No one's talking about the children. It's so rare. People talking about the kids. People don't even recognize there were kids at these freak-offs. A lot of the adults that were there had bought kids. They'd pimped the kids out. And I'm supposed to be happy to be alive in this place. In this world. I'm supposed to wake up and think, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. When the adult population does this to the children. To the children, you guys. Get the freak out of my face. The only day and the only time I will hear anybody out who's trying to tell me why I should believe why life is worth living, it will take somebody who cares about the kids at least as much as I do or more. Because otherwise, you're just living... Like, this is why I hate dating. Men always trying to tell me things that they're going to do for me and how they're going to help make me happy. Screw me! What about the children who don't have a voice? The children being trafficked on the border of the United States. The children who are being sacrificed all over the planet. The children who are going into schools and being indoctrinated and their spirits being broken when they're being told all these things. And they're being given all these titles for nothing. I teach the kids. I've taught the most neurodivergent, diagnosed with 8 different disorders student, all the way up to the student whose parents are paying for the most expensive private schools. All of them. All of them. The solution is the same. It's caring. Just caring about them. Like, just caring about them and treating them like humans. and new people make it worse. And I hate the adult population for that. Because I'm there sitting in my lessons. I've been asked to teach maths, chemistry, physics, it's the main subjects I teach, sometimes biology. Now I'm also having to do English, oh my gosh, and history and geography. I'm basically teaching the whole curriculum. By the way, I'm so ready for homeschooling anyways. And people wonder why I'm good at what I do. It's like, what's your method? My method is caring. Caring. While we're talking about Diddy and all these people, no one's talking about the freaking children. The children. No one's talking about the children. Talk about the children. That is the devil's greatest trick. You know what the devil did with Adam and Eve in the garden? You know what the issue was, really? When it comes to the order of the Lord, right? And a lot of women are like, oh, I don't want to submit to my husband, whatever. But the Bible actually says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Wives, submit yourselves as unto the Lord. Christ died for the church. Christ did so much. So I don't actually know why women are upset about this whole passage. Because I'm like, listen, Jesus did and is doing everything for us and our salvation. Like, are you telling me that you can't submit yourself to a man? Anyway, but whatever. We won't even get into that because that's another conversation for another day. About how much men do for women. Husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church and Jesus died for the church. Women, submit yourself as unto the Lord. Let's talk about why that makes sense for a second here. Because in the scenario where you have a man, as they are created to be men, who loves his family and loves his family like the church, he will protect his family and provide for them like nothing else. I know because my relationship with God, like God is the only man I've ever had in my life that I could ever trust in fully. And like seeing how God is, I'm not ever gonna expect to the same degree from like another man, you know what I mean? Because this is God, but like I know that God, he loves, he protects and provides, and he covers me like in a sense of like I have a huge personality that most people can't handle. But God can handle my personality. As in like he's like, that's not a big deal to me. And I believe if I was ever to be married, because I don't really want to be honest, you guys, I don't want to be. But I believe if I was someone going to marry me, a man would have to be able to cover it in the sense of like fully handle with a bit of extra energy still left over afterwards, you know? Then there's being a woman, which I'm a woman. So we nurture, we love, like I can see how I don't know. I don't know if it's a spiritual gift, but I can always see when I look at people exactly how God sees them. And it's beautiful. Because it's rarely what the people think of themselves. And I know that because I can see that as a woman, it's my job to like help them to fulfill that. And that is the thing that makes me happy more than anything. That's why I call my channel The Winning Team, because I want to see people win more than anything, you know? And so that's when I work with kids, with children, I love that they're reckless. They're reckless. I love their imagination. They're so good for my mental health because when they are in their imagination, they're getting lost in a particular idea, I get lost with them. You know, they're precious. They don't know anything. They're just learning. They need help. They need support. They need nurturing. They don't understand anything that's happening, and they won't understand it until long into their adult years. So for me, it's a huge thing to ignore the kids, because it's something that I've been like literally built to support in some kind of way. Nurture, love, look after. In a way that I don't think men obviously produce a very important element to that, because children need fathers. They need fathers, they need strong men, they need proper masculine men in their lives. That's a huge issue in society today. But also, as a mother, like I know for myself as a daughter, I can tell you that I have like severe issues when it comes to both of my parents. And as far as the world is concerned, they would probably see fatherlessness as a bigger issue. But for me, it's actually the motherlessness that's a bigger issue. Particularly because, like, I won't get into it. But anyways, you guys get the gist. Like, I've dealt with what I've dealt with to the point that when I deal with kids, the reason I'm good with them, and that's the thing, because if all of my issues were a negative thing that were like negatively affecting everything, I'd be bad at my job. But the truth is, I'm teaching maths and science, and these kids are now excelling years ahead. So how does that work? If I'm the so-called problem, it doesn't exactly. So I'm probably not the problem. So you guys kind of get the gist of where I'm coming from. And I just thought, as an adult, it's easy for me now to like articulate my issues. And the people that can't articulate their issues correctly or well is the children. Because they may not even see them as issues just yet. Which I was like, me, I never saw a lot of these things. This year has been the year where like a lot of my traumas have hit me properly for the first time. And that's why nobody really gives a crap about how I feel, because like, obviously to people it's like, that happened like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, it did. But to me, it's like, this is the first time it's hitting me. For the first time. Like, I'm being acknowledged in my pain for the first time. And then the other person or people also showing that like, it's this planet sucks and I have no will to live. I've been praying to the Lord, like, God, give me a will to live. Give me something that makes me feel like I'm worth living. Because right now I don't feel like it. I'd be so real. Like, I'm just being real. Like, I'm not trying to, like, I don't want you guys to be like, don't feel sorry for me, because trust me, if anybody was going to feel sorry for me, that should happen like 15 years ago. I'm 27 now. I've made it. I don't have nobody and I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. So don't feel sorry for me and don't like, oh. But like, I don't have a will to live. I realized that a couple of days ago that I don't have a will to live. I don't value being alive in any way. And the deeper revelation about that was that I realized it's because I don't believe there's anything worth living for. As in, like, my only thing that I want to do in life is be with God. Like, I want to be with God. I want to meet God in person. I just want to be with God. Like, if it was up to me, I'd just go straight to God. And so I ask him every day. I'm like, God, Why am I so here? I just want to be with you. And there's obviously a reason he keeps me on this stupid planet that I hate. But I'm like, God, I just want to be with you. Because you're the only person who loves me, like, for real. Like, in a proper way of love. As per the terms of the Bible. Also, I've met some new friends who are loving me in a way that I'm kind of uncomfortable with, but I'm working with it. Anyways, why is my face so shiny? Anyways, I relate to people not caring about the kids because I relate to people not caring about me. There's certain kinds of people in certain circumstances where society favors the weak and not the strong. Because any child who's going through what I can't even imagine, and I don't want to think about it because I can't think about it. It's gonna shatter my heart completely. You know, and then for me, who's thinking about where they're at, it's hard for us, but we can handle it because we've had to, and we have to. And then everybody else just lives in the privilege of that's not affecting me that much, so I'll just choose how much I want to deal with that or I don't. And some people just don't get how deep things go because they think, oh, it can't be that bad. I've heard that before myself. And I always say to the people, okay, come along and let's like do what I'm doing, like live my life for a day with me. Like, and I mean it, and I do it literally. And it always proves they can't handle it. They can't handle like a quarter of the hours through the day and you can't handle it. And then we want to be talking about Diddy and there's kids. Listen, these kids are stronger than I am. I think. I don't know, because I've never been in that position. I've never been trafficked. That's the only thing that's never happened to me. I've experienced every single other type of abuse or anything as a child and an adult. And these kids, those kids, children, I'm going to do everything in my power in the rest of my life to save those kids. And not just praying, I've been praying for years, obviously. I want to be on the front lines. I want to be on the border of the United States. Standing there. Not in theory. On the border. Going into these underground tunnels that Diddy and all these people have. And I want to rescue the kids and I want to hug them and I want to love them and I want to tell them that God loves you more than anything. He loves you so much. And this world, I'm sorry that we failed you. That's all I want to do with my life. Not teaching, not nothing else. I just want to go there. And I want to see those children. I want to free them and I want to hug them and I want to let them know that their life has value. So much value. And I want to embrace them. Hold them in my arms and tell them God loves you. And your life means so much more than you think. And if I'm able to do that in the thousands Not the hundreds, not the tens, not the one. And thousands, plural. I can die after that. And that's the only thing that's keeping me from not wanting to actually kill myself, because actually otherwise everything else about living, the adult population, my background, my family, everybody working as a teacher, everything else makes me want to kill myself. I'm not gonna lie, but I won't, because of that, and because also Jesus defeated death. And the very last time that I attempted to do anything against my own life, I said to God prior, if you want me here, keep me. And I made it, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to try. But my gosh, the pain that I feel is so severe. You guys don't understand. It's so unbelievably severe. To me, that's like somebody commented on one of my videos recently, like, since you're a commentary channel, you should do this. I was like, I'm not commentary. This is not commentary. Like, it's not fun to talk about what's happening. My heart is broken. I'm shattered. I'm completely shattered. My heart is from all of this. If I'm talking about this, it's for the betterment. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go now because I've been talking to so long. Gosh. If life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in the next one.